Green, Andalo, Trespididi, Gibson, Fabini, Brewster, Gradwell, Bradshaw, Jackson, and Longin are the drivers yet to pit. And we've only completed 25 minutes out of 40. We've still got another 15 minutes of racing left here to go in America.
I just think that the pros are being rather gentlemanlike and giving the S2 their moment to shine in the spotlights. That's the only explanation that I can probably throw out at the moment, because all the drivers at the front, bar Jason Green, are pretty much Spec 2 drivers with a couple of Masters thrown in there as well. So the guys at the front probably wondering themselves, thinking, how am I so far up the grid? And what has happened to the rest of the field? I mean, this is where having a spotter really pays out. If you've got a spotter telling you what's going on in the field, to tell you that all the pros have literally pitted, about 15 minutes ago in this race, which seems hard to believe in this Spec Racer Ford class. But it's yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, and it seems like certainly the battle is going to be between Durelli at the moment and Nom. Even after that earlier spin, the guy just seems to be on rails and able to just get back up. So you got Durelli there in 8th, Nom in 9th, Gradwell in 10th, and I believe he is still yet to pit. Yeah, that is correct. Then you've got Walker, Naselli, Manny, Pinero, Lynn, which were all your front runners at the start, but certainly Durelli and Nom at the moment have really won out on the battle of the pit stops. And a lot of these races can come down to what is your tactic going to be in these rounds. And certainly the earlier pit stoppers of Nom, which was the first one in after about 11 minutes of this race, currently a second behind Durelli, who pitted round about 20 minutes into the race, so pretty standard sort of pit stop time. So at the moment Durelli's won out on the pit stop strategy, but Nom will be chasing him down to try and get that win again, get back into his winning ways, certainly after missing 2 rounds and trying to make up the points gap over the rest of the field.
As Huffman and Green are both into the pits now. Wow. Take your money and place your bets. Andalo comes in too, as Naselli's dropped a few places there. Lynn's actually picked up a couple. And Pinero swapping around as well, and that real scrap for effectively be 4th by the time all the pit stops have sort of shaken themselves out. But this lead group, what have they done? Have they done enough to maybe one of them get in amongst it? Trespidini carries on round. Gibson and Brewster, they've decided to jump into the pits, as here come our leaders. Brewster, he's in to Gradwell. And I think that is, well, Bar are top 2 pretty much, and then Jackson along in. It's everyone done and dusted, and we've still got 11 minutes left. Wow, everyone definitely going early here in Indianapolis, and Durelli is leading effectively by 1.4 seconds over Nom, who's really pushing things right now. Durelli, inspired by his victory last time out. And he's going for gold once again here. Nom is 2nd, Walker 3rd, and the gap's starting to emerge between them. You can see on the left-hand side of the screen right now, and drivers last made it into the pits. But in terms of Spec 2, that's still going to shake itself out a little bit. I believe Todd Hansen will take the lead of that one once the pit stops to sort themselves out. Andalo in 2nd. In terms of Masters, that's a bit more organised. Murakami, 14th overall, he's leading. Ken Batley, 2nd. 18th overall. Gianni Longin is currently up 20 places into 19th, but he is yet to stop. So that means Justin Huffman should take that Spec 2. Yes, in fact, he definitely will take the 3rd place in Spec 2 at the moment. As Trespidini, he's into the pits. Another one of your many different leaders we've had. Will Favini follow him in, or is he? Yes, he's going to follow him in as well. There's Parscombe, Durelli, and Nom, and Walker, and Pinero. We head out onto lap 19. Half an hour complete, out of 40. and Dorelli is in pole position, but Nom is closing because that gap is shrinking and it's down to 9/10 of a second between our top two. Bit of a gap then to Walker in third, 2.2 seconds. Walker's got a gap over himself, and Pinero in fourth with 1.2 seconds, but then Pinero, Lynn, Marnie and Naselli throw the perennial blanket over them because 3/4 of a second is what covers these four cars fighting it out over fourth place, and Lynn in full attack mode, looking really aggressive right now onto the back of Pinero, bump drafting down the back straight. Is Lynn going to throw it out to the inside, or is he going to stay behind? Well, here comes Marnie, and where Lynn was not adventurous, Marnie says, thank you very much, I'll have that place from you. And that's more than Marnie up into fifth place.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Lynn didn't make the move. He was clearly faster than Pinero there in fourth place, but didn't decide to make that move. But Marnie said, thank you very much, I'll have that position if you're not going to try and take it. And an excellent move there coming through turn number 7. So Marnie takes over that P5 position. So Lynn again has it all to do in this race, pretty much like he did. Oh, as Marnie takes it a little bit sketchy there coming down into turn number 13. So we'll lose a little bit of speed. So Lynn has got a good opportunity to make that move back on Marnie to get that position and then try and track down Pinero. But Tim, I mean, what do we know? We're only commentators. I mean, these drivers obviously knew exactly what they were doing. Wasn't expecting the gaps to be as close as they are, but pretty much I think they might have got lucky where they came back out on field with the back markers, being able to not really slow them up enough. It's now going to be down, like you said, do they have enough fuel to finish this race? So only time will tell. Only 8 minutes left of this 40-minute race left to go, and it's going to be interesting to see if the likes of Nom has calculated his fuel correctly.
Well, he is past Dorelli, and actually changed for the lead here. Out on track rather than in the pit stops. So this is going to be into the last few corners into 12 and left-hander of 13.
I think that's turn number 2.
Oh.
No, 13.
Yeah, because that's then that's on the back straight.
Yeah.
So on to start finish straight even out through 14. And Nom really pushing hard right now and claim that first position, but Dorelli is holding on for dear life to the back of him, 1/4 of a second as they back out onto the oval section before you dip back into this little infield part of 12 and 13. There is 13, there's your pit entrance to the right where so many drivers visit there early. Is Nom a little bit compromised on the exit there. Here comes the Argentinian of Dorelli. He's in the slipstream. Is this going to be a change for the lead? Let's find out. Well, he's pulling out alongside and he is breezing past Aero Nom to reclaim the lead. One lap after losing it to Nom. And these two are just pulling away even further from Walker, who's right now in a bubble by himself in third place, but supposed to be happy with that in some ways, because if these two scrapping, they might be able to pick up some scraps, but also he is getting away from Pinero, Lynn, Marnie and Naselli, who you can still cover by just over a second between the three of them. So 4 of them even.
Yeah, it definitely is. And do you know what? I'm going to call this now. I think Dorelli is playing with Nom at the moment. Just wanted to see the effect of that slipstream coming out of that last corner. So he knows now that he, look, as expected, just gives up the position to Nom. So I think this is another masterclass from Dorelli. He knows that if he is the second car of that train coming out of that last corner, he will have enough power and enough slipstream to get past that first place. And I think exactly that is what he's doing. Just got that banker and iron lap in the last lap to see if it was doable. He knows it is, so therefore, as we saw there, as in Virginia Raceway, moved over to the left, let Nom through, and now Nom is like a target in front of Dorelli. He just needs to make sure that he gets a really good exit on that final lap out of this turn 13, and I think he might have another masterclass victory on his hands here.
Wow, we haven't got long to find out. 4 minutes 40 seconds to be precise left here in round 7. Here we go as we head out on to lap 22. I'd say Walker is starting to get reeled in a little bit. It's starting to become a little bit uncomfortable right now for the Canadian, because Pinero, Lynn, Marnie, and Naselli are definitely closing in and have been working together to close up that gap. There's Norm still leading by 3 attempts over Dorelli. In terms of Masters, still being led by Murakami, he's 12th overall. Batley and Burkitt, 2nd and 3rd in class, 15th and 23rd overall, respectively for those guys. Spec 2, Fabio Andalo leads in 13th overall. Hansen nipping his heels though, he's only a couple of attempts behind in 14th. And Les Noy, your championship leader, is 16th overall, 3rd in class. In Spec 2, is running it a bit deep there and a bit wide. That's when the back marker's getting out of Murakami's way. For another victory in Masters. Definitely really got a had a stranglehold into the season really on this championship. Well, Andy, I think it's time to just draw a breath and get ready, because these last couple of laps, I get the feeling, certainly the last lap, I think it's just going to be a heavy sense of deja vu kicking in once again from last week. Slightly different drivers, well, in the form of, you know, it's a two-way battle rather than the three-way battle. Nom wasn't here last week, but game on. And you can see, it's like Dorelli, it's like you said, Andy, it's like he's toying with him. And Dorelli's just been, you know, he's been in sort of midfield drivers. Jorg Marnie setting the new fastest lap race at 1:38.28. But Dorelli in these last couple of rounds has really found some place, and I said, you know, during the build-up with that victory, just maybe, you know, he's learned now how to win in this championship. And once you've got that first victory out of the way, do you see drivers start to kick on and take more victories?
Yeah, you certainly do. It just boosts your confidence knowing that, you know, your tactics played out perfectly, and you're able to do it again. It almost lets you, like you say, it just releases the gates, and you can just see here, Dorelli at the moment is just toying with Nom, just bump drafting him down the straights, thinking, I don't want that first position for this last lap, because I know how powerful this slipstream is. So therefore, I'm just going to let you know I'm here, give you slight little taps in the back, and I'm pretty sure you know what's coming ahead of us. So it's going to be all down to that exit on turn number 13. If Dorelli can nail that exit on the last lap, then he's got a real good opportunity of winning this race. If he has a poor exit, that could put pay to his race. But, you know, at the end of the day, being the first place car out on this track, you are just like a running target for that second place. So he's in the perfect position at the moment. And we'll see him again down here, down the start-finish straight. He will not make a move on Nom. He will just bump draft him all the way down this straight, waiting for this final lap to then finally pounce on him. You can sort of see the closing speed that you get on them cars, and he's already done it once, passed him before the line, so he knows that he can get it done as long as he can get that decent lap. But certainly the battle behind, as we see Pinero taking Walker there. Has there been a sort of like incident with Walker getting a bit offline, but he's battling hard between himself and Lynn. Lynn marginally just got past him. Walker's on the outside, Lynn's on the inside there, coming down into turn number 3. Lynn's managed to get that move done, pushing Walker out slightly wide, and he's now getting opened up by Naselli. Isn't Naselli? Oh, Naselli and Lynn just get a slight bump there, giving Walker the opportunity to get back in, and this is going to give Marnie the opportunity to say, thank you very much, gentlemen. I'll take over that 6th place from you two battling hard.
Well, the white flag's in the air. This is the last lap, and everyone going for broke as Naselli. So Dorelli is right onto the back of Aero Nom. He knows he needs to be onto the back. While it counts, Pinero looking comfortable for 3rd place, but Walker, Marnie, and Lynn all scrapping away, just like our top 2 right now. Let's hold tight, everyone. Here we go for the last few crazy corners of round 7 of the SRF Weekend Warriors from Indianapolis. And Dorelli, look how close, and that's a mistake. That's it gone. That's him done and dusted. He's going to have to sell for 2nd, providing Nom can make it through the final corner, which he has done. And Dorelli, all that hard work undone in the beat of a heart. And Nom is going to take the victory. 9/10 of a second over Dorelli. Pinero 3rd, and then Marnie's going to pick up that 4th over Walker. No, Walker Naselli right at the line, swapping places and finishing. Wow, I'm just trying to have a look at that right now, because that was incredibly close. I think, no, the Sully got him by 200ths of a second, as this is Yang Lin we're looking down on. And there's Walker just coming off track, and wow. Contact with Lin.
Yep. Got it completely wrong there. Did Walker coming into turn number 12, went extremely wide into the corner, gave Manny the opportunity to make the pass and move, came back across the track and unfortunately hit Lin, which spun him out, which probably helped Walker keep his car on track, or else he would have spun his car around. So unfortunately, Lin coming off slightly worse there. Only losing one position though to Simone's in 7th place, but Dorelli will be kicking himself at the moment, was in prime spot for that race win, literally stuck to the rear bumper of Nom coming into turn number 12, just slightly clipped him, put him slightly offline, and then that was it. He just lost the momentum that he had to Nom coming through into turn 13. So Nom really would have been feeling the pressure coming around that turn number 12, knowing how close he was. But unfortunately, Dorelli just closing speed a little bit too much coming into turn 12 and not able to slow the car down to get a decent line into turn 13. But a great end again to another great race in this SRF series.
We said during the gridding, big grids, big action, big drama, and yet again, it's been another average weekend in the SRF Weekend Warriors. Places separated, right in the line, that battle, I'd love to, hopefully if we can get the replay of it, between, it was Naselli and Walker right up to the line. Those two separated by 200ths of a second at the line. Spectacular stuff between the of them. And all that was going on, Murakami taking the victory in Masters, Hansen taking the victory in Spec 2. So this is Walker and Naselli. Wow, look how close it is. We looked out from the helicopter and Naselli times it to perfection just to pick Walker, as I said, by 200ths of a second at the line. And that is what Dorelli was hoping to do on Nom, but that fine, as you said, Andy, that mistake coming into 12 is what cost him. But is there we'll bring up some Class 5 results very shortly. There we go. Gremlins in the system. Aero Nom taking the victory over Dorelli. Panero finishes in 3rd, with Marnie picking up 4th. Naselli beating Walker, as we said, 202nd at the line. We've just seen the replay of that. Those two 5th and 6th respectively. Felix Samal 7th in the end, because Yang Lin, after that contact with Marnie and Walker, finishes 8th in the end. Gutting for him. Jameson Huffman, great drive from him to finish in 9th at 4 places. Jeff Fritscher rounds out your top 10. 11th is Jason Green, with Chris Murakami, your winner in Masters, and finishes in 12th overall. And then it's 1st and 2nd in Spec 2, Todd Hansen and Andalo, with Ken Batley in 15th, 2nd in Masters. Les Noy, your leader in the Spec 2 Championship, finishes 3rd in Class 16th overall, with Jesus Rodriguez, the Spaniard, in 17th, and Justin Huffman from Spec 2 in 18th. 19th was Marcus Trespedini, and Andrea Favini going to round out your top 20, the Swede. In the 21st, it's Luca Laloy, Ian Gibson, and then Marcus Burkitt. Big gap between himself and Burkitt, in Batley, sorry. But 23rd overall, up 8 places, and 3rd in Masters. Jim Brewster, another big climber. He was up 9 places to finish 24th, with Tom Gradwell up to 25th. Edgar Sanchinelli in 26th, with Love and Montabout, Nunes and Bradshaw taking up to 30th place. Serge Montabout, big loser, down 12 places. Gutted for him on that one, having started in 16th place. Brian Shaw, another one of the beginners, he was at 9 places to finish 31st, with Paul Jackson in 32nd. Haraski all the way down in 33rd, dropping 12 places himself as well, with Longin, McCain finishing a lap down those drivers. Likewise did Gary Walbolt. Then into the retirement, Montgomery we lost on lap 15, likewise with Stephen McDonald. Jeff Jacobson we lost on lap 13, Renders on lap 9, Kern on lap 6, Antonio Race on lap 5, and Matthias Malholm unfortunately did not make the start. And we'll round out your 43 car grid, and let's have a bit of a chat to some of our drivers. Let's first off have a chat to our winner here today, round 7, and back to the championship after a 2-week break and back to winning ways. Aero Nom, wow, it was tight right to the end, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I decided to go a bit early, but I didn't look down enough. I came out in the traffic, so it was very difficult.
And talking about pit stop, because we thought, well, initially we weren't 100% sure if you'd made a bit of a mistake coming out of 13 and elected to just carry on and take the pits, but then we watched the replay, saw you hadn't. I mean, was that intended? Because it kick-started basically everyone following suit pretty much, with the whole field being done and dusted with their pit stops by 3/4 race distance, which is really different for this championship.
Yeah, but I guess this makes it difficult for me. Everybody will follow me, so yeah. I planned to pit 1 lap earlier, but there was a little gap behind third place, but they caught up, so I decided to go lap 7. So.
What inspired you to go so early? Because normally we see you, pitting with 11 minutes to go, not 11 minutes completed of the race.
Mainly because the pit stop is so long, over 40 seconds, so I hope there was a little bit clear air.
That's fair enough. That's understandable. But wow, congratulations on the victory, returning to winning ways. I know it was close right up until the end, until Dorelli had that slight mistake. But before we let you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to at all?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the drivers and league admins and sponsors and you there guys at the booth.
No problem at all. That's Aaron, your victor here today at Indianapolis. And Andy, I understand you've managed to grab our winner here today in Masters, Chris Murakami.
Yeah, Chris, welcome to the booth. Obviously, P1 in the Masters, P10 overall in the Championship. How are you finding this season? Either are you finding it difficult yourself, or are you finding the competition level has increased within the Master Series?
Well, I think the competition's gone up a little bit, but I've only raced like half the races. That's why I'm back there a little ways.
Yeah, but obviously with that race win tonight, P12 overall, how did you find the new layout around Indianapolis in the SRF?
Oh, it's tough. It's all the late apexes and it's not an easy course, that's for sure.
So obviously the tactics, and it sort of blew our minds in the commentary box of the majority of the pro drivers. Did it confuse yourself a little bit when you saw all the pro drivers going into the pit lane like super early?
No, I would have did the same, except I got a pre-programmed kind of, I've got a calculator, and so if I go in too early and I'm saving too much gas, I won't have enough gas at the end. So I tend to go toward the end and then not worry about the fuel. So no, I would have done the same. I think we were probably off by at least the group. So.
Yeah. Certainly seems to be the tactic. It sort of threw us in the commentary box because we're so used to you drivers going in midway or 10 minutes before the end, and it was literally thrown on its head around Indianapolis here today. But what was your tactics for today, being that you are 10th overall in the championship and needing to close some gaps? So did you have a tactic for tonight's race?
No, just try to get up front. But yeah. And like I said, I tend, those guys are really good at fuel saving. I tend not to be the greatest at that. And no, I just get up front. Jeff was in front of me, and I'd get a little bit ahead of him, and then he would pass me back. So it's
good race overall.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's great that you were top of the Masters there in P12. Your nearest rival in P15, and then all the way down to P23rd. So a lot of points gained in that championship. So is your aspiration still to rule the roost in the Masters championship overall by the end of the season?
End of the season, next quarter. This quarter, I could only put about have my time in. So, yeah, any race I can make it, I'll attend.
Definitely. Well, Chris, thank you very much, and obviously great for your race win in the Masters in P12 overall. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out before we let you go, mate?
I just thank everyone involved. They're a bunch of great guys, and everyone involved in SRF.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Chris, and congratulations on your class win and coming P12 overall, mate. So look forward to seeing you in the next round if you can make it.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
So there was Chris Mokari, obviously struggling a little bit in that Master Series, but losing a few races in between. So maybe handing over his mantle to a new member by the end of the season. Only time will tell. But I mean, Tim, what another great race. 2 races in a row in the Spec 4 for me, and they've just been fantastic races to watch. It's like a jewel in the rough, this series, of how close the racing is. I didn't really expect it.
I don't think any of us did. Wow, I'm really shaking things up in the field with the completely different pit strategy that we've never seen before within this championship. Definitely kept us on toes in the commentary booth, and talking of commentary, just going on at the moment on Apex Racing TV, it's IGP Fun F3. They're currently on lap 18 out of 34 at Phillip Island. Rosencrantz currently leading the way in that one. Make sure to tune in for that one. There's some cracking battles going on up and down the field like we've seen here today in the Weekend Warriors. But wow, what a race. We nearly had that grandstand finish for the win. We just denied. Dorelli couldn't quite get it right coming out of the final corner after closing up the gap and toying with our winner Aeronom. Congratulations to him. Our other winners Murakami and Todd Hansen. But wow, what a race here for an Indianapolis. I've been Tim Cox with Andy Thompson and Jonathan Grabowski, and we'll see you in a week's time when the championship returns from the cracking, small, fun, tight, compact Lime Rock Park.